Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Today we're going to discuss a couple questions. Are FBAs humanitarian? Do we help folk? Is that what we do, um, or not? And another question brought up, inspired by Tariq Nasheed's stage the other night. Um, why are foreigners against our reparations? Why do you give a damn? How does it concern you? Why is there seemingly diametric opposition between the stuff black folk get, and I say black Americans, mind you, the stuff black folk get and foreigners giving a damn about it? I was watching Tariq Nasheed's show the other day, man, and it was a white boy from what is from doggone it, this thing near Australia. From one of them countries, New Zealand, there you go. All up in, what are you gonna do with the money? I want to know, what are you gonna do with the money? What the fuck does it have to do with you? Why do you care? Well, we're gonna look at this through the lens of Dr. Claude Anderson, I'm gonna try to explain why what the lawyers call the causal connection, the causal chain of connection between my money and a foreigner's money. Um, it all goes back to warfare, ladies and gentlemen. It's related. Unfortunately, it is. Um, we're gonna rely upon Dr. Claude Anderson's essay, "Blacks and Ethnic Immigrants Compete for Resources," and you will get your answer. Got it. Um, so first and foremost, are Black folks humanitarians? What do you think, Wani? Are we?
Yes.
Okay. End of show.
Yes, we are. I noticed today that there was a Chinese gentleman who wanted to make fun of picking cotton. And I think that that's very interesting considering that Frederick Douglass petitioned against, wrote in his newspaper that everyone was looking at about how the yellow peril against Chinese people, they were being portrayed in propaganda as the yellow peril. And there was also a Chinese Exclusion Act, right? And he was fighting against those narratives and fighting to have Chinese people not harmed in the country. He also went further to say that he envisioned a composite nation, and he advocated for Japanese people and Chinese people to come over here. Uh, and they were not wanted. Just put that out there. No one wanted them there. He advocated for that, and he stands as the most powerful advocate and civil rights leader for Chinese people and Asian people as a whole on the face of this earth. He was the most powerful advocate for Chinese people in America that they've ever produced. Now, another group of Asians that were helped was Filipinos facing American abuses in the Philippines. We went against the United States government to advocate for them, and we were successful. And like these three, well, there's more, of course, but we're just speaking about Asian attitudes against Black Americans, and we have never had anything um, that we've done against them in this country. They used the fact that people were angry with them. 90% of the crimes against them over COVID were white guys. Even over in the UK, they were being beaten up by Indian guys and other Asian guys that were not Chinese. And they don't want to talk about that. Chinese people were beat up by other Asians that didn't want them around. They were thrown out of countries, passports held at the desk, everything. They were rounded up like animals on vacation during COVID. And their attitude was not to say, oh, okay, we'll just leave. They literally have been branded with a certain attitude that they simply don't have. They got kicked out of the country, and then they went back into the same countries that kicked them out through other countries. Can you imagine being kicked out of a country because you were associated with COVID and not just accepting that? Most people would say, oh, okay, I got kicked out of the country. Let me go home. Nope. They got back on the plane, rerouted themselves, came in through another country that wasn't banned, and were very persistent when people said not to come back. So we have really helped some very ungrateful people, and I don't see how Chinese people make points with white supremacy or with white people that want to be supreme. I don't see how they make points in that system, because the moment that COVID flares up again, they're going to be slapped upside the head. The moment that somebody does a terrorist act, you know anybody who looks Middle Eastern is going to be slapped upside the head. So, what points are they making by just randomly going against Black Americans when we're not even in their mix? We don't even pay attention to them at all. So, that's just Asia. No, that's just um, Chinese, Filipino, because we've helped other Asians. So we're just going to say those are three groups of Asians that we've assisted that have thrown us under the bus for no reason, just for fun.
It's a reason, Wani. We're gonna shift gears and go to Dr. Claude Anderson's dirty little secrets. I'm breaking out the secret warfare. Y'all forgive me. I've been in Atlanta. It's cold. I got me a little sniffles, but it's all good. What up, Nikki? Um, let's look at Dr. Claude Anderson's dirty little secret, page 193. What do he say? He say, following the Civil War, entering ethnics displaced blacks from the skilled trades and the artisan class or artisan class of businesses that blacks had monopolized for centuries. Nearly 10 million new immigrants were brought here to America between 1868 and 1880. According to 1865 data, census data, blacks made up more than 100,000 of the 120,000 tradesmen in the South, yet less skilled immigrants formed unions, locked blacks out, and took over the skilled trades based upon skin color. Blacks were bumped out of northern factories, shipyards, mines, lumber yards, and other trade craft areas. So check this out. Do y'all not know that? Reason why I bring it up is giving Wani a reason why that what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. Do y'all not know that during slavery, black people had professions? We were skilled labor. We weren't just one of the biggest misconceptions ever is we were all out in the field, you know what I'm saying, picking cotton and taking tilling the land. And check this out, there's nothing wrong with that. My great great grandmama did that, pick cotton and hold the land. That's okay. That's okay. But what's not being told is that we actually had skilled jobs. Now, when immigrants came to this country as warfare from Captain James Oglethorpe, they sought out these skill positions and check. Let me tell you how ironic it is. They ended up locking us out of these skill positions through unions. So that's the reason why uh, they one of the reasons why they came for us. Dr. Claude Anderson further says in 1865, nearly 60% of Southern farmers were black. We're talking about farmers now, just as white immigrants. Hold on, let me say that shit one more time. 60%, the overwhelming majority of farmers in the South were black. Just as white immigrants were shedding blacks out of jobs in the unions in the North, whites across the South created farmer alliances that locked blacks out of agribusiness, market places, and banks. After 150 years, blacks have yet to successfully break whites' union. These unions hold down our jobs, man, and keep us locked out. I got a colleague. I'm not gonna call him a friend. He's white. He got kicked out of college for being an idiot, and he's you know took up on an apprenticeship as an electrician. Big money. You know what I'm saying? Making 100. He can make 100. A little over 100 as an electrician. Respectable career. And I asked him, how do you get in? And he told me it was a union. And I asked him, was there any blacks in his cohort? The answer was an overwhelming no. They're locked out. But are FBA's humanitarian? Yes, that which is one of the problems, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we've been really, but we didn't know any better. We followed the doctrines that we were given, the doctrines of turn the other cheek and do unto others what you want to be done unto you, which is altruistic in a sense. But some of these doctrines that were fed to us as warfare. In my book, I talk about the cherry picked Negro preacher, and I'm not going to hog the mic like that, but I will say that a little known fact that I didn't want to find out that I found out when I was writing my first book was that the the Negro preachers were selected for the slaves, and the preacher was selected based on his studship. So the men who was used as studs, not I'm not using that in the LGBTQ sense. I'm talking about literally the men that were used as stud service to create babies were often selected if they could speak well to preach a slave Bible that had select verses in there, such as slave obey your masters and the like. Her hair is her glory and the like. And what surprised me was I found out that these installed pastors in the black church in the American South kept the churches in lineage. So their son would get it, then their son would get it, then their grandson would get it, and so on and so forth. So you have a long lineage of people preaching uh, the gospel who had nothing to do with divinity. They had to do with having sex, as much sex as possible. Now, if y'all sit and think about that, that makes perfect sense, don't it? Anyway, I digress.
Now, another humanitarian act that we carried out was Black Americans from Freedom House, which was a charitable organization trained to respond to choking, heart attacks, childbirth, and seizures. And they took the first paramedic course that was offered. So this guy Peter Safar designed an EMF course, and they took this course so they could be helpful in the community. And there's a book called American Sirens: The Incredible Story of the Black Men Who Became America's First Paramedics. I just think it's in us to do so. Um,
It gets us in trouble, Wani. You're right, this is we're gonna have to. I need some help, y'all. Y'all gonna have to. I don't have all the answers. Y'all gonna have to help me because, like Wani, I'm in a struggle with this right now. I'm looking at it from all angles, and I'm thinking that hell, maybe we shouldn't help so much. Let me give you a really good example that I saw as a college professor at a historically black college last year. Our uh organizations, you know what I'm saying? Um, a lot of our organizations, Greek letter organizations, were created to help with the intention of helping the foundational black community. And it makes sense because we were being oppressed, right? So, what are the organizations? A lot of them, and I'm not going to name them, but y'all know who the fuck I'm talking about. A lot of them shifted focus from helping black children into helping every other child, and now, from the diaspora. And now you got whole letter organizations taken over at historically black college by people that aren't American. How does that help us? Is that humanitarianism gone too far? What are your thoughts on this?
yes, it's it's kind of like, if just think about it, when we're speaking about movies, people tend to act like it's frivolous, like complaining about movie roles. But just imagine if you were a minority group in a larger country, and say you were Cambodian, and you built up a whole, um, you contributed to Hollywood, their version of Hollywood, drug yourself up by the bootstraps, try to present yourself not looking stupid, and you did all these inroads so that people in the future could enjoy acting and that form of entertainment. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of Chinese people come over and they want to plaster their face on your Cambodian heroes. They want to just play all your heroes. They want to undercut you. They're not even from your country. They didn't go through anything that you went through with that, um, with acting or performances. They just came in out of the side pocket. Um, what has happened to us? People keep gaslighting us. Over in, when we're speaking about Hollywood, Nollywood threatened to murder a guy from Ghana. I think his name is Vickerson or something. I can get the exact article, but they threatened to murder him because he was very popular. Anybody who doesn't look like Nigerians is popular there. And so he was very popular in the movies, and they said, "Don't act over here anymore. Just get out." But they want to come over and get all up in our stuff and gaslight us and act like they're not our legacy. They're not our children. They shouldn't inherit anything that we did here. I mean, we could classify them as historical enemies if we wanted to. We haven't done that because of Pan African ideals, smoothing it over and hiding their deeds and pretending like they didn't happen. But we could have classed them as historical enemies. And nobody wants to see an Indian person's not going to stand for a Pakistani person playing them on any movie role or anything. And for them to just be thrown up there like, "Oh, any of you brown people will do," is very disrespectful. They don't even look anything like us, just like, the same could be said if Hawaiians were doing a movie and someone said, "Hey, whatever, we'll just put some, random people in there." we'll use some Filipinos. They're all the same. That would be insulting, but for some reason, we're not supposed to feel any
Well,
insult
that
when
goddamn, you own something, Wani. Forget my language, but this you own it. Like that's what it is. It's the whole slave mentality. Slaves are not supposed to complain. Slaves live at the pleasure of other people. They are keeping us in a slave mentality. You hit it real hard when you said that Nigerians could be considered enemies of us. Matter of fact, if you want to understand that Nigerians are direct descendant in a lot of cases, the lineage, their lineage with Benin lineage is the same thing. The Beninians are, or however you say their name, are complicit in the slave trade. They were the most ruthless slave traders. You know, didn't the Beninians have the tree of forgetfulness where they marched us around to forget what was going?
the homies,
The home, yeah, that's
the
Benin.
homie people, yeah, the homie people marched us around the tree of forgetfulness to do an ethnocidal. Now I don't know what they were doing. I don't know if that actually happened, but that's ethnocide. You don't want us to remember anything about where that location was or that our tribe was, and I don't even know if we were their tribe. So many things will never be known unless we, get more sensitive DNA tests. But while we were helping these people, I'm just sticking on Asia for now. We'll go on to the other areas. We inspired them to help themselves. We inspired the Dalit Panthers. They're the lower caste, so to speak, East Indians. The Polynesian Panthers. We also inspired the Australian Black Panther Party. So, basically, for Asia, we've done far more than we've had to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's kind of funny that they in Australia they went and got them a Black Panther party.
They said we're black fellas, so I guess they could have said Australian Black Fella Panther Party. That's a little bit clumsy though, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And leave it to them. They created it the way these fools act.
Yeah, exactly. We need to start gate. Well, that this is going to be very unfortunate, but I think we need to start gatekeeping our humanitarianism. Why? Because I have been on the fucking front lines for the last yeah, let's say 15, 16 years serving black children. That's been my passion, and I've been blessed enough to do so. And what I see, it's gonna be controversial, but I mean every fucking word I say. What I see is our quote unquote humanitarian groups look over black children and go out their way to help other children that are not black American children. Why? Because I'm the sole um teacher or professor, scholar, whatever, that's trying to help these kids get somewhere. And I've seen black foundational black American baby boomer, mind you, administrator thumb they nose at black kids and act like black kids are not worth it. I've heard African professors call our kids stupid. I lost a job for standing up for our children and letting them know that they were not stupid. I've seen it over and over again. So my thing is, if we're not going to be humanitarian for our own children, what's the point of being humanitarian at all?
I agree. For me, I never focused on American children. I just said, hey, we're in America. They have food banks and they're not going to really be starving. And these other kids are really jacked up. And we're not really, they're not really suffering. And they really are suffering. We literally have children walking around, not just black children now. Black children are actually paid attention more. White children fly under the radar and they're walking around out here at the beach looking like leather, looking like luggage. You know why people look like luggage? That's because they're living outside with their fathers and they're pulling a cart around with them. And nobody cares because they're in America. They're hidden behind America. So when we have that kind of poverty right under our nose, and like me, I just overlook it like, oh, there's a little white girl's going to get some food stamps and she'll be okay. She'll, foster care, blah, blah, blah. No, absolutely not. American children are ignored. Right now, we have the Democrats targeting children for sex change drugs and surgeries, and they're underage. And there's no global organization that's going to step to us and say, what are you doing with these children? Why are they being exposed to nudity during these parades? Why are people's breasts hacked off like they're in some kind of war? They're not even doing it properly. They're not even doing mastectomies properly. They're just hacking stuff off. Who are these doctors doing this? And um, there's nothing to focus on that. So my voice hopefully will reach white people. White people, stop glamorizing all these foreign places and helping them. Help your own children here in this country. Help children here in this country. Stop helping some random person in another country just because it's more exotic. It's just basically exotic, and you feel like they're more grateful, and you don't feel that Americans have problems, and they actually do have problems. I will be helping specifically Black children until the end of time.
Yeah,
Okay?
me too. That's my passion, and it's once been said that you can tell about a society by the way it treats three categories. You can tell a way about you can tell about a society by how it treats its old people, how it treats its children, and how it treats the people that's in prison. So what does that say about the U.S.? Like this motherfucking place hates children, man. Like it hates America. It hates its own children. Like Wani said, last time I was in Los Angeles, I saw a bunch of homeless children. You know what I'm saying? You can tell by the skin. Why don't we help our own children first? Like that's common sense. How are you going to have a strong United States of America without investing in your children? I was years ago. I had a command over a program called Cyber Patriot. I was the commander of that program for from Jackson, Tennessee to the Mississippi River. And I tell you, I had to pull teeth. It was a program to help children become get into computer science. And it was like pulling teeth, man. Nobody wanted to help our like the total force community wanted to help children, but like outside of that, nobody wanted to help. Like I don't understand our culture sometimes, and but I will tell you this, and I shut my mouth. If we don't invest in our kids in about 20 years, we're fucked. Because who's gonna be looking after us? Who's gonna be our doctors? Who's gonna be our management class? Well, I'll tell you who it is. It's gonna be foreigners, just like Vivek's ass over here. It's gonna be foreigners managing us with a whole nother culture.
Yeah, so back to what I was saying about helping these people, um, we also, in helping, have gone against the United States government because they didn't want us to help. Obviously, if they want to do a yellow peril and a Chinese Exclusion Act, they don't want anyone to go against that. So they didn't like that. They didn't like it when we were helping the Filipino people avoid their colonization of them. And so fast forward to Latinos. So basically, Latinos were kind of out of the picture. They lived, pretty much in East LA, and we didn't see them. But Black American civil rights activists created a lot of Black and Brown alliances. They also inspired the Brown Berets, and they supported immigration and endorsed the founder of the United Farm Workers, Cesar Chavez. So that's been our interaction with them. We have wholeheartedly helped them, formed all kinds of alliances, even though their leaders were saying that they were members of the Caucasian race, that they were against civil rights and didn't care what we were talking about. They wanted nothing to do with us. Um, and so we did that anyway, and I'm not sure if those people making the alliances knew the attitude of their leaders, their representatives, but they were happy to get the help. I'll tell you that they were happy to get that support. I can continue. Near the end of World War II, the 761st Tank Battalion liberated uh, a sub camp of Mauthausen concentration camp in 1945. And in doing so, we were very gentle with those people, unlike the European descendants from America. They respected the fact how we handled them with kid gloves and understood the horrible situation that they were in those concentration camps. We also inspired the Israeli Black Panthers. Again, they were very thankful. They have I think it's an annual get together with some of the men that did that, and they've been doing that since the end of the war. And those men were awarded, but again, we have problems with those people as well. Coming into our business, advocating against, they were very uh, loudly spoken against reparations. Jewish spokespeople have spoken out, don't like it. And then there's one group called the Jewish Reform Organization who has endorsed reparations. So that's that for now.
Yeah. Speaking of humanitarianism, I'm sorry, Wani, but forgive me for being negative today. Maybe I'm on one, but I don't see any other group being humanitarians but us, really. Outside a couple of few Caucasian humanitarians like John Brown. John Brown gave up his own children to fight against slavery, so he must be noted. But check this out. Speaking of humanitarianism and selflessness, how about our brother, um, our brother Booker T. Washington? Check this out. Quote, after his famous speech in Atlanta Exposition in 1895, Booker T. Washington refused an offer of $50,000. Stop right there. How much was $50,000 in 18?
A
Uh,
gazillion.
over a million. He turned down, this brother turned down $50,000 for a series of lectures because it would interrupt his work at Tuskegee, which was bringing him much less money. That's humanitarianism. That's selflessness that you don't see in other groups. We are like the only people who are passionate about stuff, and we keep getting bonked in our head for being passionate. So my question, should we just stop being passionate and start being out for ourselves, or would that corrupt our spirit?
I'm going to continue to be humanitarian because I was raised to be a little goody two shoes, and I've had to kind of get out of that because it gets you in trouble. But no, I think we should continue, but we should just do it for ourselves because we're not getting, not only are we not getting this help in return from countries that could help because of their UNC, they could advocate for us, but they're here to harm us. Like I said, we have helped Chinese people specifically, Japanese people specifically, you know, a Filipino people specifically, and all of those people have had anti-black sentiments. Some of them have sued to keep us out of schools, um, so that they could uh, overpopulate everybody's schools globally. We have not gotten anything in return. So, no, I'm not going to burn up my energy. If somebody wants to go for them, they're just going to get got. And they're not going to have anybody on the planet to advocate for them. That's what's going to happen. So I guess they better look for the Caribbeans to do it because I refuse to help them, and the Caribbeans are beat down by them and submissive to them. So maybe the Caribbeans will help them.
Interestingly enough, that's a good point. Maybe we're wasting a lot of energy trying to help other groups. We're not as strong as we used to be, as quiet as it's kept. We had more home ownership. I heard one scholar say we had more home ownership during Reconstruction than we do now. So maybe it may be a time of great consolidation to just say, hold on, let's conserve our powers and focus on our own. My thing is focus on our children. Let's focus all efforts on our children because right now grown folks have made their decisions, right? But if we focus on our children, maybe we will have a chance. So what I'm positing, and I'll land my plane, is maybe we should just go ahead and pull out of these quote unquote humanitarian ventures with other people and focus on ourselves.
Yes, we have to reclaim our um, legacy organizations and gear them to what we wanted them to be in the first place. We don't have anything to do with female genital mutilation or, hurricanes in Haiti. We don't have anything to do with that, and our energy should not be over there. And because they couldn't, um, not only have they harmed us, but they've literally taken all of these organizations and pointed them directly at Africa and the Caribbean. And that's a shame because we were already helping them, and then they slipped into those organizations and stole the power away from us. So we can't get basic services from the political powers that we built here.
Yeah, there's been a heavy emphasis on West Africa. There was some joker used to come. I don't see him anymore. You don't even have to say his name, but he was a member. The guy that came on Spaces would be on Tariq Space all the time, dissing Black Americans, talking about how wonderful the dominant society is. I don't remember his name, and maybe it's a good thing I don't. But I want to make it clear that he was members of alleged member of legacy organizations. We need to guard our legacy organizations like gold, man. And the best way to destroy an organization is from within. Rome fell from within. Corruption, you couldn't touch Rome without external corruption. And I don't know what's wrong with our quote unquote um, administrators. I'm not going to use the word leader because I haven't seen one of them in my lifetime. Um, like it's so much selloutism. Is it a baby boomer thing? You think? I have a theory, and I get
No,
no, it's not. What is it? What's going on here?
I see, young imbeciles, old imbeciles. I mean, I don't even know what these people are doing.
I had like a little theory. Looking being a historian, looking back, I saw that the great generation, the golden generation, Dr. King's generation, died. They literally said, "Fuck this. We're not going through this no more." And I'm gonna die so that my daughter and my son can have an opportunity. And that's exactly what the fuck they did. And their children happened to be the baby boomer generation. So when it was their children's time, the baby boomer, my parents, when it was their and my parents were riders, but I'm just about the in general the generation. When it was time for them to set up institutions and fight for us, I feel like they didn't do it. I'm sorry, but I feel like I don't see any institutions, and I also feel like the baby boomers told me and a lot of my colleagues that we need to get it exactly like I did it. You could do it,
Uh-huh.
and but that's
Uh-huh.
not fair because you didn't do
No, it's
shit.
not.
All you did was inherit what Dr. King them died for.
That's that attitude that I don't like where, there's a hostility toward the next generation. Like I had to do it this hard, so you have to do it as hard as me. Tough love and all that stuff. They didn't want us to be reap the benefits of what they had, which is what you're supposed to do. What are you doing it for? You're supposed to be doing it to leave something just like these other people do. So yeah, maybe they have the wrong end of the stick. Maybe they were traumatized. Maybe they don't understand how these things work. But if you bought a house that's $50,000 and now it's 300,000 or $1 million, your children should inherit that and shouldn't be hostile toward them if they're just regular, regular children that haven't done anything wrong.
I'm glad. I'm grateful we go to Alonzo, but I wanted to say this one thing because Wani talked about houses. There was a study done. I'm gonna find it and put it in a jumbotron to show that baby boomers are not giving up their houses. That baby boomer class view, and this is across racial lines. Actually, this is not just a black thing. Baby boomers view their houses as a source of power because millennials can't. Most of us cannot afford a house. With all our fucking degrees, we still can't afford a house, and baby boomers view house as power. So you have baby boomers who will not come out that house. So we have like a issue with the housing market of baby boomers not passing down their house or even selling it because they view their houses as a source of power. Power over who? Power over millennials. I.e., I may not be young, but I got a house and you don't. Ha 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 ha. Alonzo, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, Professor. Hey, thanks for hosting the space, Wani, Nikki. Um, to speak to the questions above, I just want to kind of define them first to offer a little bit of context in regards to what we're talking about. Um, Give me just a second here. Wasn't expecting. Give me just a second. Sorry, I dropped something here while I was speaking. Okay, here we go. All right. So, apologize. So give me just a second. I dropped this thing right when I clicked onto here to Okay. So for humanitarian, Black Law Dictionary 12th edition defines humanitarian as motivated by concerns for human welfare of or relating to a situation or an event that involves widespread human suffering when aid or support is required on a large scale. So to answer your first question, are FBAs humanitarians? I say yes. We've been that way since the existence of time. Second question, why are foreigners against reparations? So before I answer that question, I would like to define what reparations states in the Black Laws Dictionary as well, just offer some context. Reparations, the act of making an amends for a wrong, compensation for an injury or wrong, for wartime damages or breach of an international delegation, recompensate for out-of-pocket losses caused by an offense, but not including pain and suffering. So, why are foreigners against our reparations? Because it goes against their interests. Now, Lane.
Absolutely, yes. Right on time. What he said about against their interest. Well, according to Dr. Claude Anderson in Black Labor, White Wealth, Dr. Anderson says, as a matter of quote, as a matter of fact, the ethnic and racial immigrants have historically been a wedge between whites and blacks, giving whites an alternative into with interacting with blacks. Each time in history, either before or after a war, when the American economy was expanding and could have offered material economic benefits to blacks, a new influx of immigrants or refugees arrived to fill the void and further exile blacks from fruitful participation in the national life, according to historian Dan Lacey. So that confirms what the gentleman just said. The system of white supremacy has used ethnic immigrants as a kind of like a chess piece to wedge against us. Now, unfortunately, a lot of ethnic immigrants are aware of this and they play along because they're benefiting. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of like a, what's the term? Not unwitting agent. It's let's see, a contract agent. Um, a contract agent is a rogue agent such as who participate on jobs on contracts. So basically, they kind of know, and these contracts are implied, they're not written down anywhere. That's why people deny, oh no, what you talking about, I'm coming over here to get equality, I'm coming over here to get freedom. No, you're not. You're coming over here because an implied contract has been made that if you come over here you can get what the black man gets, and come up off the black man. That's why so many foreigners get these gas stations in black neighborhoods. You think it's a mistake that gas stations all across the country and convenience stores all across the country do not have black people? You think that's an error? No, it's intentional. It's an implied contract that wherein they can serve as a wedge against us. You know what I'm saying? But now in the age of Aquarius, we're addressing all these issues and we're looking for solutions. Tyrell, what's on your mind?
Peace and power to everybody in the room. Um, I was just gonna chime in on what you just got done saying. Um, I want to add this to that. Man, my experience, I think they know very well what they're doing. I'm pretty sure they are aware that they're driving a wedge and that they're being used and weaponized against us. I honestly think they don't care anymore. That's just my opinion. Um, and to speak to the title, are we are Black Americans humanitarians? Our Foundation of Black Americans humanitarians? I will have to say, yeah, the civil rights movement proved that we were fighting to have equal rights for everybody to be treated equally across the board. Unlike certain other organizations, even though we were not an organization at the time and still are now, such as LUAC, the Latin American organization, they was fighting for only and still only advocating for rights for Latino Americans. So, and why are foreigners so against our reparations? Um, it doesn't benefit them, but it does. They don't understand how it benefits them. They don't understand how us getting reparations will benefit them. And I think that's what the main problem is. They don't understand that if we got reparations, Britain and all of these other countries will be forced to, break bread and follow suit.
But why do we
Park
have
my
to?
car.
Why do we have
Yes.
to have
Yes.
something to get them on board?
Ah, thank
What,
you for
you
that
know,
comment.
yeah, why do we have to have, why do they have to get something? I didn't get
Lazy.
anything when Native American people got stuff and I rooted for them. I'm not going to
That's
do it anymore, but why do they have to see some way for them to get something? That's what I'm saying. We're the only ones that have been humanitarians and for the right reasons because the Caucasian has done humanitarian acts based on guilt. We're not guilty about anything. We don't have anything to be guilty about.
Facts.
yeah, that's a fact, and I agree. You can't help but agree with that. And I'm saying that from their perspective. That
Yeah, I understand.
yeah, I'm saying that in general from their perspective because they should do it because that's what altruism is. And we have been proprietors of altruism, advocating for other groups not to receive anything. We are the very definition of altruism, which is to show compassion and kindness and do acts of kindness and compassion to others, not seeking anything from it, material or um, physical or metaphysical, material or otherwise. I park my car.
Well,
Based on what you're
So,
saying,
go ahead, Nikki.
based on what you're saying, I apologize, y'all. Um, Based on what you're saying, Terrell, and the altruism, I am so glad that foundational Black Americans have started learning and start delineating. We are no longer just giving away things to people. We're no longer helping people. We're not no longer helping and showing people how to get things done, and they don't appreciate it. Pretty soon, people aren't going to feel entitled to our greatness. They're not going to feel entitled to what we have. I noticed that who was that was talking about how Latinos are always saying, "Well, what about us?" Was that Jennifer Lopez or another woman who was like, "Well, what about Latino women? Latino women,
Jennifer
they voted."
Lopez.
during the
Yeah, that was.
vote?
Oh, that was okay. Sharing the vote. They just
No,
feel entitled.
you mean when she said Latino women helped Biden win, that type of thing?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And it
Eva
was one of you.
Longoria. Eva
That was even like,
Longoria said that bullshit.
yeah, and that was bullshit. There's no more of that. We're not going to be those people anymore. We have learned that that was a mistake, and we're not going to do it anymore. I land.
So, sorry, I just wanted
No,
to
go ahead, one.
say, I just wanted to point out that we come off historically as troublemakers because a lot of the things that we've been doing goes against the United States government and sometimes the people uh, United States citizens don't like us helping Ethiopians. And every time we do something, not only do we not get credited and we don't get the propaganda that we do help because it's going against the United States, like going against apartheid was going against the United States. Going against colonizing the Philippines, that's going against the United States. Helping Ethiopia, that's going against the United States. We had physical fights with Italians because they were out here in the United States fighting us in the street because they wanted to invade. So remember, each time we've done something, and I'm going to go through all the things that we've done, let's just see if it wasn't already going against the United States, which classified us as troublemakers. Just like the Black Panthers, they did a whole lot of charitable acts in their community, and they got classified as troublemakers, people that need to be shot, terrorists, and everything else. And they really were trying to help us, advocate for us, and help their own communities.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Wani, that's deep. Oh man, that's deep. And what I'm trying to say, she brought up the Black Panthers. What? Black Americans, what you have to realize is there's a hidden hand in this situation that keeps us in check. I think it's called controlled opposition. I think that's the name of the tactic. But
Yeah.
but to talk about that, let's look back at history. History will erase the mystery. To be successful in this life walk, black people, we're gonna need more historians, like by the book historians. Um, let's look back at history at the in 1903. In 1903, blacks, if you look at the zeitgeist, that means time goes. The time goes of 1903. Um, you had Reconstruction roaring away, black people coming up, the ideology of Booker T. Washington, Tulsa, Black Wall Street's popping up all over the place. Black people starting to ride in good buggies, dress real nice, have clothes, have dignity. And the system was like, oh hell no, black people trying to organize. And then here come a whole nother wave of immigrants. I think it was the Italians at that time and the Irish to kind of put us in our place to serve as buffer class. Well, when during this wave of black consciousness and black business ingenuity, according to Dr. Howard Zinn, blacks began to organize a national Afro-American council formed in 1903 to protest against lynching, debt peonage, discrimination, and disenfranchisement. The National Association of Colored Women formed around the same time. Y'all ever heard of those? You ever heard of the NAAC and the NACW? Well, basically, long story short, to get ahead of that, W. Du Bois kind of snitched on them. W. Du Bois said, "Oh, the colored folk and he colored, you know, the colored folk are organizing and getting their own thing together, master." And W. Du Bois, who Dr. Howard Zinn says, W. Du Bois teaching in Atlanta, Georgia in 1905, sent out a letter to Negro leaders around the country calling them to a conference across the Canadian border. So W. Du Bois, ladies and gentlemen, was a plant. Uh, and I love my fallen brother. I'm saying all this shit about him because I kneeled at his grave and apologized for the things would have to say about him. I went to his grave in Ghana and kneel before it. So I got to let this be known. W. Du Bois he meant well, but he had to jump through certain hoops to get that Harvard PhD. You understand me? And he was used by the system. I don't think he really realized it at the time, but by the time he realized it was too late. So basically, W. Du Bois was used by the system to infiltrate and to kind of be a mole on black issues. And W. Du Bois was used to implement the double NAACP. So before I read this next piece of evidence, the uh, has the NAACP helped financial Black Americans? What do y'all think?
Nope.
Hell no.
They don't do it now. I mean, even years ago, I remember them helping some Sikh Indians, and they were like, "No, don't we don't want you blackies helping us." They were angry because they were trying to help them because they got beat up by some white boys that thought they were Arabs over some terrorist act. I forget what it was. It wasn't a big one, and yeah, they don't want any help. And then NAACP is determined to to kiss up to these foreigners to get to some kind of credit as being they said they're a global organization, so there you go.
Yeah, Dr. Howard Zinn says a race riot in Springfield, Illinois, has prompted the formation of the NAACP, the National Advancement Association for the Advancement of Colored People, in 1910. Now, keep in mind that was controlled opposition to 1903. Black people organically coming together to form an organization that none of you ever heard of. Nothing. I had never heard of them either. I'm not flash. National Association of African Council that was made to help us, so they come around with this uh, controlled opposition. Listen to what Dr. Howard Zinn said about it. He said the NAACP was created in 1910 and whites dominated the leadership. Du Bois was the only black officer. What that mean? You gonna have a black organization dominated by white leadership? How
Well,
does that work?
there's there's mulattoes that are just lighter skinned black people, and then there's these puppets that they put in places. they have a direct parent or a direct handler in these places. And I don't know which one he was, but there are two different types of individuals.
Well, from my studies of W. Du Bois, um, and I don't know if I accidentally hit that. From my study of W. Du Bois, I analyzed that W. Du Bois, he had a heart. W. Du Bois thought, from what I read, it seemed as if he thought that he was going to make a deal with the devil to serve the greater good. But when you make a deal with the devil, you're screwed no matter what you do. So W. Du Bois was sent as a character assassin against Booker T. Washington. Now, Booker T. Washington's plan worked, and we need to bring that shit back tomorrow. Booker T. Washington's plan was called industrial education, which meant every last one of our children, no matter how smart or how academic or how non-academic, would have a skill. The men would know how to build houses, and the women would know how to make clothes. Now that started businesses that would support the community, like Dr. Claude Anderson says in Powernomics, from the ground up. We had our own funding source. We had our own money, our own economy. Therefore, we could fund our own professional class. It's done the right way from the ground up. Here come W. Du Bois, who's very ambitious about going to Harvard and getting that Harvard PhD. Who gives a fuck where you went to school? I mean, come on now. I've been to some of the best schools. I've been to some of the worst ones. Check this out. School is school. That's all it is. But he wanted that Harvard approval. You see what I'm saying? So W. Du Bois um, was sent, in my view, for my academic studies, he was sent to counter the ideology of Booker T. Washington's industrial education with a counter idea called the talented tenth. The talented tenth was the exact opposite of industrial education, whereas industrial education focused on the masses of the youth. The talented tenth said, well, one person and one savior is going to lead you, and we're operating upon this talented tenth right now in the educational system. When you graduate from high school, what do you have? A valedictorian, right? What the fuck is a valedictorian supposed to do? What? Check this out. I've been in education like for damn near 20 years. Let me tell you from my view what a valedictorian does. What purpose is a valedictorian? That's talented tenth ideology. What a valedictorian is successful at doing is making other people feel stupid. You know what I'm saying? How about we celebrate as a chunk, as a group? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna celebrate one person. That causes spite and division, in my view. And that's exactly what W. Du Bois did. He brought division, spite, and elitism to the black community that we're still suffering from today. The good Reverend Al Sharpton is a talented tenth. How much good is he doing for the black community? Housing, what's on your
Mm.
mind?
Good evening, everyone.
Hey,
Uh, are FBA humanitarians? Absolutely. I'm gonna take it from the local standpoint. You know, you go to every local black church, and you'll see like where I live at this church every Saturday they give food out to the people that need it, and the only ones lined up that's getting the food are Hispanics. But you go to any other churches, the Hispanic churches, you go to all the other group churches, they don't give nothing to black America. Nothing. They don't offer nothing. And I didn't want to point it out. It's just that to the people that's doing it, because these are church people, they believe in sharing and stuff. But you just look at it. I mean, they literally lined up. And they're the only ones that's getting food. Every Saturday I drive by and I see it. I'm like, wow, where all the black people at? And when it comes to reparations and why they hate us, we've been hated for so many years. We've been hating since we came on the deck. Even if we have 2 quarters, they're gonna hate on us. But if we get that money, they're gonna really be burning up. So, the other groups they just hate. They just hate because we, like Wani said a long time ago, I heard her say this, you know, we just basically like no matter what we do, we do it at a high level, and we just make it happen. No matter what we go through, no matter how much trials and tribulations we go through, we still make it happen. We come from the soil, we grassroots, and it's going to
And you,
always be that way. And the dominant society knows this. And when Nikki the God mentioned about the gas stations and all the foreigners and the buffer groups coming, some of them don't even know that they're buffer groups. Some of them think that, like, we got it on hard earned work. No, it was handed to you, but they just didn't tell you it was handed to you. So this is why whenever you see us, you want to turn your nose up at us. With that, I land.
Um, Here's a perfect example. There's a website called Black and Missing. Black and Missing. Guess who's being posted about? A full blown Hispanic woman. Now, I don't, personally, I don't care, but why do they have to be on our website? Where's Hispanic and missing? Where's Latino and missing? Why do you have all this energy to talk smack all over the country? Get all these lawyers to make sure you don't get drop kicked out of the country. All these immigration lawyers, you have resources but you don't have these humanitarian things. You don't care if your kids are missing. You throw your children over 4 foot wall, I mean over 14-foot walls, and they break their legs. You don't care if they get raped by coyotes bringing them across. They don't care. As long as they get in. As long as they get in, they'll drop them off and leave. And then say, "Oh, my kid is over there. Can I come back and get him?" And then never leave. They've done every grimy trick in the book. I remember hearing about them crossing over the border and squatting their baby off in the dirt. They have been doing the most atrocious things against children that you can even imagine, putting children in peril all the time and gaslighting everyone to believe that they're just innocent people trying to get here. They are horrible child abusers. They will sell their children to anybody for anything. They will physically harm their children to shove them into this country. I don't understand why there's no missing children's website for Hispanic women that are missing. They definitely have thousands of websites trying to put Black Americans down. All of these Hispanic people have websites talking about Black American music, trying to make slick comments about us, calling us baby mamas and hiding and pretending that they're not Mexican and we know that they are. But they don't have the energy and they don't have the humanitarian mindset to make a website talking about their Hispanic girl. This girl is listed as Hispanic as her race. And I don't know what more I mean, this is just right on my timeline. Black and missing, but there's a Hispanic woman all over the poster. We have
That's true.
enough people to care about. We don't need to entertain them. They go need to go help themselves. They have more population than anybody.
I agree.
I mean, are they confused? Do they think it's a light skinned
It
black person?
clearly
Because I'm trying to
it
figure
clearly
out
says Hispanic.
why.
I mean, if she had black on there and she looked like that, I guess I couldn't say anything. But the woman is not, she's got four Hispanic names and she lists herself as a Hispanic.
I got one
Yeah,
more
tier
thing.
four neighbor.
I got one thing.
Yeah, that's why they feel entitled to our shit all the time because we keep inviting them in. Black and missing should be for black people.
I got one thing I want to
I'm
add.
sorry.
There's
Go
a
ahead.
saying, if people spend 12 hours a day not minding ours and the other 12 minding theirs, the world will be a better place.
Well, it's time for us to stop. Let me be hard on us right quick. It's time for us to,
Go hard.
man. We need to stop being stuck on stupid, man. Like Nikki just said, why are we allowing this? And if there is another group of people that's has a channel talking about foundational Black Americans, why are we not outing them? You know what I'm saying? Like World Star. World Star was wasn't the World Star guy. He wasn't even FBA.
Yeah,
He was
most of them are
immigrant,
not.
Yeah.
No, all of them, most of them are Caribbean.
Wow.
Nigerian. He was a Nigerian.
Mm-hmm.
He's dead now,
Yeah.
right?
He died. Um, but we need to realize that what Dr. Michael Bradley said. I don't know what it's going to take for us to learn this. That trying to
It's happening. It's slowly
slowly.
happening. We just don't have a bullhorn to tell everybody at one time.
Hey,
Slowly but
Wani,
surely.
they got Wani. You was mentioning about that girl Eve. It was Jennifer Lopez who said it.
No, it's two of them then,
Yes, two
because
of them.
Eva
They
Yeah,
got
Longoria
Jennifer
yeah, it's
said it
Lopez
Jennifer
and
about the
Lopez,
voting.
and then it's
saying
the
it.
other chick too. It's
What
Jennifer
Okay,
Lopez and the
I
other
missed
chick
that
too.
one,
what
but
did
they
she
definitely
say? Do you remember what she said?
She
uh,
basically said the same thing.
the same thing exactly, fam. The same
She
thing.
said the same
What?
thing.
Like, what about us?
Well, well, that just goes to prove that they are a problem as a group.
I thought she was black.
Only when it's convenient for her.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, folks is
Her
only
and
Right.
black when it's
Kamala.
convenient.
As long as they're stepping up on
Yeah.
some black men to get to a white man, they're
Let
black.
Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx says it all. He hits it right on the nose when he talks about Jennifer Lopez. You know, because she started as a dancer.
She did the same identical move as Kamala,
Hmm.
stepping on black men to
Jennifer
get to the
Lopez was
top.
given, right.
Say
That's
that
right.
again.
Kamala Harris.
Stepping on black men to get to what she wanted, and then getting her little Hispanic man to squat her babies out, and then she kicked him to the curb to get the golden prize, ugly white boys, which I will never understand. I'm
Right.
definitely going to leave the earth with a question mark on my head on that.
The prize. Well, that's part of the thing. That in a way that kind of encapsulates one of the issues I see, that we've made a certain group of people the standard of everything, right? And for some reason, I don't know why we haven't figured out that these people do not have the same um, personality nor nature versus nurture as us. Like, I mean, shit, Sigmund Freud said that the black man and the white man, I'm paraphrasing him, but he basically said the black man and the white man have two different personalities. According to Dr. Michael Bradley, not intelligence, nor morality, nor spirit, but aggression is responsible for the white man's superiority. Aggression is responsible for the expansion of Caucasoids, both geographically and culturally, at the expense of other races. There it is. Michael Bradley was Caucasian, or he is. I'm not sure if he's dead, but that's the culture. The culture of Europe is Machiavellian. It's the ends justify the means. What that means is you do whatever the fuck you got to do to get where you need to go. And once you get where you need to go, you sip on some wine, you do what you want to do, and you celebrate and you laugh at everybody else because you got there. That was the goal in the first place. We don't think that way, and I think we're right in the sense of seeing the all, seeing the whole picture, seeing that there's a right and wrong way of doing things, and seeing, like one of my mentors said back in the day, all money's not good money. Some consequences outweigh the big reward, in the long run. uh, the European is new to this earth. He is no disrespect intended, but Dr. John Henry Clark said, don't get on the train with somebody who doesn't know where he's going. Dr. Clark told a story once, and I'll land my plane, that there was a couple black women who saw a train pull up full of white people dressed real nice and smelling real nice, and they said, you know what, I'm gonna get on this train and see where it's going. And they got on the train and sat in the back, and they said the train started going, then it started getting faster and faster, it didn't stop. And one of the black ladies looked up to the front to the conductor and said, conductor, when are we gonna stop? And the conductor turned around, and the conductor was a devil. and he said, "The next stop is hell, and I'm taking you home." Never get on a train that you where you don't know where you're going. Europeans are new to history, and their culture and behavior is indicative of not knowing the direction that they're taking the planet. You know what I'm saying? And it would be in our best behavior to follow our ancestors, the patterns of morality passed by our ancestors. And I'm gonna end on this. That don't mean being stupid. That don't mean being naive, because I'm old enough to remember the Great Generation, and the Great Generation used to ask questions. They used to ask people all kinds of fucking questions. For they let my grandmama used to ask all types of questions for she let you sit on the porch. She say, who your people is, baby? Hey, baby, who your mama is? Your mama Cherie now? Yes, ma'am. Oh, okay. Well, take Cherie this pound cake. I got some pound cake for Cherie. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And my grandmama give the girl some pound cake to take back to Cherie. And when the girl walked off the porch, my grandmama would tell me and my sister, "Don't hang around her no more. Her mama on crack, and they'll kill you. We not that's that old
Well,
shit,
we would
man."
get mad. We get mad and say, "Oh my God, this is embarrassing. You're asking too many questions."
Right, right. We need to bring that old shit back, man. No cap.
Where your people from? Where your people from?
Yeah.
See, that question goes in direct opposition to my upbringing. Direct opposition.
Wow.
So whenever you see me say it, know this. I was never raised to talk like any of this, ever. This is self defense. This is self preservation that I'm practicing because um, where somebody's from is their business. That's like me saying, "How much rent do you pay in there? What kind of job do you?" I don't go up to people, "How much money do you make doing that?" I don't talk like that. And I
Wow.
used to cringe when I'd be around other cultures and they would walk up to guys, "How much money does that pay?" They would say their job and they were trying to see if they were worthy to date. I would really, I would cringe out, then tell them off when the guy left. But now, as far as this, your background stuff, I'm not even embarrassed about it. I'm going to ask people, "Where are you from?"
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do it all the time. I think it's important for us to do that. I think it's imperative that we do that. And I think we should understand, and this is my understanding, that these people not only hate us and have vitriol towards us, they envy us. They really do. They envy us. And to envy is beyond jealousy. Envy is an emotion that's a very powerful emotion. It's beyond jealousy. Is to not only despise us and want what we have, they want us to suffer for it because we are who we are, have what we have, and created what we created. I think that's something that we need to understand. And I think a lot of us do, but we just confuse it as jealousy.
Yeah, yeah, we've been attacked from a and that's one of my purposes on Spaces is to let y'all know that culture can be weaponized. There's a group, the Army has a very elite group called Special Forces. In the military community, they call them ODAs, Operational Detachment Alpha. And what did Green Berets do? Green Berets are teachers, y'all. They fly in a year before conflict, meet with key people, leaders, and dignitaries and stuff, and learn culture, to use culture, you know what I'm saying, to weaponize culture. How's that work? So, for instance, they fly into an area, airdrop in, nobody knows they're there. They got a bag full of money, bag full of dope, bag full of whatever they need, because they done did their homework. They know what the people like, usually money, and they find out the business on folk who like who don't like who got a drug habit, who's a pervert, who's this and that, and that ends up becoming information that turns into power. Why am I telling you that, people? I'm telling you that because that's what happened to us. I had a very strong grandmama. I had a strong grandmama, a strong granddaddy. My grandmama, Washington D.C. school teacher, taught 50 years before she died, and my granddaddy, damn near white in Alabama. Man, they taught me. They taught me what, you know what I'm saying. What they taught me, the culture that grandmama and granddaddy had, we call them Bubba. The culture Bubba and them had, man, was It was so Trump type, man. It was asking questions, and they did it in a respectful manner. What you know, Joe? Who your people is? Who you from? You know what I'm saying? And they slowly would weave in barriers. Don't hang out with him, or yeah, you need to hang out with her. They can help you. She got good Kool Aid. She got this. She got that. Information is power. As ignorant as they make our great generation out to be, they were smarter than we are with all these goddamn degrees. What do these degrees mean? You know what I'm saying? As a professor, um, I feel like, and this is off topic, but I feel like professors nowadays are more concerned with teaching culture than they are with concerning teaching their goddamn subject they got a PhD in, man. But I digress. What I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, I'll land my plane, is I feel like the vis-a-vis the sitcoms, me and Wani talk about this extensively through the television and through the internet, especially for my generation. I'm a millennial. I'm an early millennial. Through TV, we were propagandized out of the wise, uh, what the law professors call wise restraints. I like that term of art. A wise, what's wise? Wise means beyond smart, right? A restraint is something you don't do. Fuck what you do. That's not important. It's more important what you don't do. Wise restraints that the great generation taught us. We were acculturized out of that with these sitcoms that told you to be polite, be mannerful, shit, to not respect dudes. I mean, and this in a way this crosses racial boundaries. I mean, like um married with children. What these shows teach us, it taught us that dudes were losers who was lucky as fuck to find their wife. Which just not is not always true. Sometimes the woman is lucky as fuck to find a dude. You know, all these fallacies. Um there's been warways on our culture. Magus, what's on your mind?
Hey, you can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to say as far as in to tie in two things that were mentioned, which is the difference between certain cultures, some being more agreeable than others towards out-group members. Disagreeable people, like people who are like highly disagreeable, know how to pick up on a softer target and how to feel people out. Just like to protect yourself from that, you know, to ask certain questions like the previous generations did, right? Disagreeable people have their own version of feeling people out too. So I just
Oh,
wish
tell us
that,
more about this. Interesting. Tell us more about that.
because you know how a psychopath or other antisocial be, you know, social people know how to like feel people out.
Uh-huh.
Like there's people who have that, and some cultures are going to be more disagreeable towards our group members than others, and some are like extreme on the extreme end with it, and they know how to pick up on people who are highly agreeable, the type of people who they could probably like catch off guard with their evil, like people who couldn't even conceive of another group. Like, why would you do that to somebody? People like that. Well, you can't understand certain cultures not having the same code of ethics, the same code of honor. Because people, I believe FBA especially, we tend to expect us from other people,
Uh-huh.
and that's how people get you. When you just assume you got to feel them out first. Because we do this with each other anyways. So why wouldn't we do this even more with members outside the group? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I like what he said. Like we expect us out of
Mhm.
other people. I like that. Again, Michael Bradley said, quote, not intelligence nor morality nor spirit, but aggression is responsible for the white man's superiority. According to Michael Bradley, the European doesn't give a flying fuck about morality. He's aggressive. He'll do whatever he got to get. His concern is power. The ends justify the means, according to Machiavelli. So we're looking at somebody saying, well, I bet you he's nice, just like me. And that somebody smiling back at you, like, yeah, I'm nice, just like you, with the thought in his mind of, I'm going to get what you got and I'm going to destroy your ass because the end justifies the means. We need to wake up, people. Go ahead and
I
land your plane,
agree.
Mac.
Right.
Go ahead.
Oh, wait, I can keep going. I don't want to go too long.
Well, I was just going to say, we built a political arm here in the United States to advocate for ourselves, and it's called the Congressional Black Caucus. And through that caucus, they petitioned, organized mass protests, strategic boycotts against apartheid related companies, which led to the fall of apartheid. They couldn't take all the sanctions and all of that stuff, and they just crumbled. But the United States was against us doing that, remember? They didn't want to. And they finally got kind of publicly embarrassed. And because of all the ruckus, we were running around with Mandela t shirts on, and we made him a thing. He was unknown. In fact, because of the Mandela effect, a lot of people in South Africa said, "Oh no, he died in the '80s." No, we have T-shirts of him on, and we're trying to get him freed. So that's the Mandela effect, where one big group of people thinks something happens, and another big group of people sees it or thinks it's another way. Who knows which way it is? We could be in some kind of matrix with a glitch. Um, Another thing that the Congressional Black Caucus did is they hold meetings, sent letters, petitions to address deportations, African trade deals, Caribbean disasters, police brutality for SARS, which is in Nigeria. They addressed Boko Haram. They addressed institutionalized domestic violence, which is all uh, immigrants, because Americans don't have institutionalized domestic violence. We have domestic violence and people go to jail. It's not built into the culture. Honor killings, nothing to do with us. Forced child marriages, nothing to do with us. Female genital mutilation, nothing to do with us. Terrorist acts, starvation over in other countries, and genocides in other countries. These are the things that the Congressional Black Caucus is up to. Um, Here's another part of our advocacy for the continent. Black Americans objected to the savage representations of Africans in cartoons, advertisements, cinema, television, and magazines like National Geographic and National Wildlife. We donated billions, billions in charity, and we donate 25% more of our money, of our meager income than other groups in this country. So we give 25% more charity than other groups. Hold on.
You there one?
I
Okay.
have no idea why that came on. Anyway, I wasn't even touching the laptop.
Wow.
Um, We have organized fundraisers, concerts, and we have worked with churches. I mean, for me, I worked with Jack and Jill when I was little. We did Girl Scouts, all of these little organizations with all these little black girls. We were all geared to help people in other countries, specifically Africa. And little white children were told to do this as well on their side of the street. Um, and Foreigners of African descent and people of color, as you know, benefit from Black American political systems, HBCUs, diversity programs, and scholarships. So that's basically what we're doing. And we don't have to do anything. All we have to do is lay down, and we're already helping people in our sleep because of what we already built before to help these people. Unfortunately, this system does not help us.
Yeah.
Can I go next, please?
Well, I want to. Is this lion legal?
I'm glad you
Hold
can
on.
read.
Hold
Yes.
on. Is this lion legal?
Oh,
Uh,
I'm glad
my
you can
No,
read.
because
goodness.
hold
You
on.
might
Hold
you
on.
might
Hold
just
on.
get the
Mr.
fuck up
Legal,
out of
what's
No
here.
your
problem.
what's your
Thankfully,
lineage? Hold
the
on. Let me mute you
education,
right. Let me mute you right quick.
His lineage is
the
Homo
education system in
erectus.
America is,
Hold on. I'm muting you right quick
if you can read my
because
name,
because you are ignorant and you're hiding. You probably Nigerian.
hiding
You
what?
not you're
Hiding what?
Nigerian, aren't you?
yeah, he Nigerian. I can tell by his lingo.
Are you gonna let me speak
No,
or
I'm
what?
I'm not allowing you to speak, and I'm glad you identified that this is my space, and you are under my you on my domain. So until you mind your
I want
goddamn
to see your
bit.
criminal record. Let me see your criminal.
Oh, I don't have a criminal record. Matter of fact, I'm a member of.
I
I'm a
doubt.
member of.
I doubt you don't. I
International
doubt you don't.
criminals are asking about criminal. You are an international
Yeah,
criminals monitored by Interpol. Are you
let me see your
serious?
passport, sir.
In everybody's jail, banned passports, and on the top of the
You people are
list
so
of
fucking
people,
pathetic, honestly.
and on the top of
What's
that
your
What's your
list,
birthday,
birthday?
sir?
Where's your birth
What's your
certificate?
January
what's your
1st.
bar license, sir? Because you're impersonating an attorney. I'm gonna report your goddamn ass.
I don't see him anymore.
Yikes.
Did he leave?
Yeah, he
I don't see
ran
him.
away.
Yikes.
He a troll.
Yeah, he ran away.
all day
Well, it
long.
didn't work. He only got his people thrown under the bus. He's not very good at it.
Yeah, he just that fool came up here and got ate up like some chitlins. Good
He
afternoon,
didn't.
General. What's on your mind?
What's going on, Professor Wani, and everybody else on the up here? I just want to know, y'all, did you just hear about what the Jews just did?
Oh, tell
Now
us.
they they requested that they are to be known as minorities, so they can get minority contracts and all that. Now that whole thing got white women in it. White men who gay and now Jews, and they up there talking about they are the biggest, smallest minority, and the most people that deals
They're
with
going to keep messing
racism.
around and get
Yeah.
themselves in trouble again.
Yeah.
Playing
So
around.
it's crazy. Well, these people crazy, and as if they don't get money every year from this government, and they're one of the main people who advocate against reparations. So
Now, what
it's
caused
crazy.
them to do this? The general?
I don't know. I was just looking at it, and it came across. And so I was just listening,
Oh, okay.
and then it just um they said that they wasn't getting the just due from the money they give in taxes. They say all the tax money they give, everybody benefit from it except them, as if they don't own and run the banking systems and businesses and all that. Like they don't have the highest, one of the highest incomes in America. It's crazy.
It says Jews are given minority status by the U.S. Department of Commerce despite having the highest income of any ethnic group in the country. Jews are now eligible for billions of dollars in new benefits meant to help struggling minorities.
Yep.
Yeah, they're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
That's why they get in trouble in these places.
And this time ain't gonna be no black Americans to pull their ass up out of it.
Nope.
Yeah, and then how they always be trying to come against us, like Elon was getting all that flack for doing that Hitler sign. So now the ADL just came out and they just sent a letter to my, oh, forgive him, he just did a misstep, as they was on Kyrie and everybody else, like trying to butt break our people. These people are they wicked.
These people are really asking for it, I'll tell you that.
Yep, but nice space. Thank you for letting me say my little piece. I'll go back down. Keep up the good work.
Thanks for the news.
Yeah, thanks for the news. Appreciate you.
Now, I wanted to say that in terms of us, we have been doing all these humanitarian acts, but people that could assist us have given us a global blackout. Like we said, the NAACP is highly focused on immigrants and against us. CARICOM says that we can't be a member or even monitor it like some people do because we're not Caribbean. But they have South Americans as members. They are willing to bend over backwards to help South Americans, but not Black Americans, even though they asked us to give us our reparations and share it with them. The Union of South American Nations said that no, we could not be involved with them. And they said the reason for denial is that you're not a South American country. But Caribbeans are members. So they have bent over backwards for their Caribbean brethren. We are not brethren to any of these people because we are not invited to any of these clubs. So the Indian Bureau of Affairs, Black Americans membership is denied. Reason for the denial: you, Black Americans, are not Native American, right?
Wow.
Yet, the Lumbee tribe and other Native American, in quotation marks, tribes are triracial and quadracial, just like Black Americans. However, they are not predominantly of African descent or brown, even though they are. Um, so they're classified, they get to be classified as Native American. I just want to point out real quick, I said it before, but some of the people being classified as Native American literally walked across the Bering Strait in the 1500s, literally after Viking settlements were here. So that's also weird. How do you just walk from Siberia to North America and become a Native American, but people that have their whole lineage created on this land are classified as Africans that can just be deported back to some ghost country that doesn't exist because we're fractured all over 5 to 6 continents. So it's a fantastical country that they would be trying to deport us back to. And we have our own people, ignorant as hell, talking about repatriated back. How could we be repatriated? Back to what? We're not from one place. How hard is this? Black Americans are not from one place. It's just not a thing. There's no such thing. Well, you could say anything is possible. Let me tell you what's not possible. It's not possible at all for a Black American to have one tribe. It is impossible, completely impossible for any Black American in North America or anywhere in the universe, even on Mars, to present us with a 23andMe printout that says they're one tribe. It can't happen.
Yeah, definitely. In the games that are being played to sow division or outrageous, they've accelerated. But we should always remember that they come from these divide and conquer games come from the same tactic used by Captain James Oglethorpe during the Georgia Corporation. It's just shifted from English white Europeans to Irish to Italian to Hispanic, and now it's being done with members of the diaspora. I think that's the key, is we keep that in mind. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're more interested in this information, I still have about 40 books left. I've been mailing books off left and right. If you want to purchase my book where I talk about more of this in depth, go to Our Story Publications. It's in the Jumbotron. Put $25 on our on the Cash App and put your full mailing address, and I will mail you out one of my copies. Also, check out Wani Spot's Cash App and Nikki the God's Cash App and show love. Moving forward, our reparations. I was in a space earlier with Tariq, wherein it was a guy from uh, New Zealand, a white guy from New Zealand with a British accent, just really concerned about what we were going to spend our money on. I have a question for the room. Why are these people from outside the country concerned? Number one, why are they concerned with our reparations? Like, let's look at him in particular from New Zealand. Why in the hell is he concerned with our reparation? And number two, um, what difference does it make what we spend our money on? I'm trying to understand that motivation. Like,
Well, I think that the first part of the question is that he views himself as an overlord, a slave holder, and he wants to know what the slaves are going to do with the money. So it's a good thing he's way over there because things could get very hostile if those statements are made in person, extraordinarily hostile. Like I said before, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some rolled up balls of money, shove it up his butt, wash it off, and go buy some Jordans with it. And he can offer up his butt since he wants to be a part of what I'm doing with my money. Anybody that wants to know, you don't really want to know. Keep that in mind. I don't know what makes these people think they can talk to us. Native Americans are not questioned about them blowing all their money. Japanese people are not questioned about their monies. All of these different Native American tribes have different treaties. Nobody's asking them about their money. And they're all they do is drink all day and can't pay their rent. So I don't know what the problem is. Don't worry about what we do. You want us, you know why? Here's another issue. We have a permanent heckling section. It's called everybody else. They're eyeballing, they're drawn to us, they hate our guts, they love our guts. They want us to disappear. They want our culture. If we disappeared, they would be in tears trying to figure out who to copy off of, and it would be a big disarray. So they have a lot of problems, and I don't think they can get over it at all. They need to mind their own business, but they're not. It's not possible. I've been watching these people do this historically. They couldn't stay out of those jazz clubs. They couldn't stay away from the Negro Leagues. And they got everything burned down and jacked up. Every time they come around, they cause problems. And they can't stop coming around. It's virtual as well.
It's like an addiction. Had Joaquin Titor. I don't know how to pronounce that. How do you pronounce your name, bro?
My name is Hardworking Tether. How are you doing today, sir?
Oh, Lord.
Uh, hold on, bro. Can you say your name one more time?
Hardworking Tether.
Hardworking. Yeah, I'm doing good, dude. What's going on?
We want to know about your money because you niggas are going to spend your money on malt liquor and Cadillacs and bitches in the strip club. I know what you're going to do with the money.
Yep,
And you know,
that's exactly
Definitely
You
not.
are
right.
We ain't going
goddamn
with that
right, my
shit, bro.
brother. And let
I
me
like
tell you what,
I like
we will help
Cadillacs.
you
I
get a
like
new
strippers
grill for
too.
your
Male
porcupine shish
strippers.
kebabs as
Yep,
well,
I'm
my
going to
nigga.
get some
You
male
know that?
strippers at strip club.
What I cannot hit him is what's going on with him? What is he talking about?
No, nigga, we are helping you get some more deodorant and lotion for your ashy ass neck. Okay?
Well, thank you. I do need some. Thank you very
I
much.
believe that, oh. Okay? Look at your goddamn teeth in your picture, oh. You are a goddamn shame to your culture, yeah?
Why is it okay? I don't know
So,
what
so,
is he.
so hard,
Teda,
Miss.
Teda, you Teda man, you come here to the spaces, eh? And you talking to the wrong people, oh. Okay? So shut your musty mouth and listen tonight, oh.
Why he talk to me like this? Do you know this man?
Hey, excuse me, Mr. Hardworking Tether. Excuse me. I have a question. So, if I spend my reparations money on Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull and some Jordans, what's it got to do with you?
And some yardbird, Professor, some yardbird.
Well, I am more of a Code 45 man myself. I like the Code 45. Who did what did the man say on the Code 45? The the what the Billy D?
Yeah, we going to get some Jerry curls too. What of it?
Oh man. Okay.
I'm
What
gonna
Well,
come
of
to
it?
your country. I'm gonna come to your whole country and buy all your women.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Hardworking Tether, what country are you from, sir? Mr. Hardworking Tether.
Whatever the country is, we're going to buy all the women and give them Jerry curls
You are
with
so
our
mean.
Nigga,
money,
just
with
for
our
Let
me
big
kids for that
bucks.
nigga. Just for me kids coming soon, nigga.
oh my goodness, this man is very rude.
Oh
Are
man.
with you, man? Because I'm gonna go to your home country and buy all your women. We're gonna go to your home country and buy all your women. Now you're mad and give them Jerry curls.
We don't want the men,
And it's
though.
gonna cost $40.
No,
Uh-uh.
we don't want no musty ass men.
Musty.
Uh-uh. Give them Jerry
What
curls
is
and
a
send them
jerry
right back
can?
home.
What is a jerry can?
You'll find out. Get your sofa ready.
It is something to get rid of them BB naps that you have all over your goddamn head, nigga. Okay? When you try to come over here, yeah.
Y'all got the
Oh,
nappiest
no, he
Oh my
hair.
probably don't even
goodness.
have hair, sister. Let me tell you this much. Look at these niggas' lips. We're gonna buy you some spread chapstick too, nigga.
Wait, who's talking?
It's me,
Who's
This
sis.
is
talking?
hard. All right. Have a nice day, Mr. Hardworking Tether.
This is how average got us tripped up.
You
Had
can't
me
tell the
arguing
difference.
his behind for 15 minutes. I was like, what the?
Oh man.
Is average on up here? I'm confused.
No,
Oh, I thought average was up here
he
doing
could
I
impressions.
know
be.
that's
You
your
never
man
know.
CC Capone. My man is a cold fool.
Oh,
Yeah.
Your
okay.
man's is a cold
I'm so
fool.
slow.
CC
Sorry.
Capone is a cold fool. Hey, bro, you a cold fool for that.
Thank you,
Hard.
my brother. I had to let this ashy ass musty Tedder know we don't fuck around as FBAs, okay? Don't come over here with that bullshit, nigga.
Oh, y'all silly. Okay.
See what happens when no real Africans come in? We just make up our own.
Oh Lord. The man said we gonna give them all Jerry curls and it's gonna cost $40 for the whole country.
Yep.
All right. About reparations. Magus, what's on your mind?
Yeah, this is about why people are so nosy, even people from other countries. Well, I mean, one of the points was, Wani already hit that point that is like a master overseer type of mentality. Like, hey, what y'all niggas over there doing? Y'all better not be up to nothing. There is that mentality, and that's international. But also, whatever happens here affects, sends a ripple effect throughout the rest of the world and can shift you know, the whole order of things. So if we come up, there's a major shift throughout the world. The whole world is gonna feel it, and they're thinking, okay, a lot of us didn't kick these people or laughed at them. If they come up, it's not gonna be so funny anymore because they might come at us like this. They might give us, a taste of our own medicine, and we don't want that.
Yeah, I think the real issue is they know the ingenuity of our group, and if we get that, not if, when we get our reparations, um, it's gonna be a wrap because we're gonna start institutions, and like somebody said earlier, it's gonna open doors, and we're gonna build communities, and this building of communities is going to destroy their community. Why? According to Dr. Marimba Ani, the European self-image is predicated off the negative self-image of others. So according to Dr. Marimba Ani, European and the dominant society do not define themselves off of what they are. They define themselves off of what they're not. What does that mean? That means in order, it's just like a basketball game, which is the whole sports system is based off of European ideology. Games, you're a winner because what? Because somebody lost. It's a very important concept to understand. European ideology defines itself according to Ani as what it's not. I'm successful because I'm not black. That's why it's important to have a bottom caste in their hierarchies. You know what I'm saying? But so if we when we get our reparations and we start opening businesses, just like what did Mark Twain say? History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. So if you look back at the during Reconstruction, when we were building businesses, building Black Wall Street, that was a negative reflection on the white side of town. That was a negative reflection on the dominant society. They were like, wow, those Negroes are driving nice buggies, driving having nice clothes. They have families. Their daughters and sons are wearing suits and ties, that's making us look bad. That's what this is all about, ladies and gentlemen. They don't want a repeat of Tulsa. And they know that once we get reparations, hell, it may come before then. You know what I'm saying? But we're definitely, once reparations kick in, that's a wrap. That's all she wrote.
Why did you drop me, kind sir? I just wanted some Colt 45.
Oh, Lord. They still sell Coke
Hey,
45.
what's up, y'all?
what's,
Hey, what's up?
what's up?
Hey, Sycophone was lighting my shit up. I was laughing. I was trying not to laugh between the shit. Sycophone was lighting that shit up. I was like, yeah. I was like, get him. I mean, me. Get me. Yeah. Shit.
What's up? What's up, brother Average?
Hey, what's up? What's up?
I knew
Bro,
it.
you had me with that shit.
I had to try you out real quick. I had to see if I still had it. I done
Man,
got two. I done
You
got two
still
different rooms
have it.
today with this shit.
man, I
So I
couldn't
had to
even
have a
cuss
little
you
fun.
out, man. I just had to laugh at it.
I'm sorry, Charlie Murphy. I was having too much fun.
Brother Darkness. Good to see you, Brother Darkness.
Darkness brothers. I could have never gave you niggas money.
Oh
Oh
shit, man.
shit!
Can we get serious again, nigga? You always
What you
poking
buy a white
around,
couch for
nigga.
anyway? All you gonna do is get your black ass on it.
All right, but to go off Professor's point, yeah, about the reparations, the money is a superpower to them. So once we level the playing field, they really got to compete. And then once they got to compete, they gonna know they are not the superior force they thought they were. And with that being said, is they know what we can do with just a little bit. Now imagine if we get our whole plate, and I land on that.
Ooh, I hear you. Um, cause somebody,
Average, you ain't shit.
hey, Juan and Nikki, could y'all let Fire Nagy up
Yes.
Something's wrong because I've been trying to bring him up for the longest, and I'm thinking he has to drop out the space and come back in because it's saying it's not even giving me a button to let him up
hmm.
because I always let him up right away.
Yeah, it's not giving me a button either. My space is acting weird. I don't have a jumbotron. It's very
He's
strange.
up.
Oh, they own you, Professor. They
Okay,
own
I just
you.
got him up. I
I
just got him
see.
up.
Fire Nagy, educate us right quick, bro. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay, well, I sent you guys a couple things because my buddy was telling me about that whole thing with TikTok and how the world like lost its collective minds when Americans, and we know what they mean by Americans, they mean us, were not on TikTok for at least 8 hours. And I thought to myself, I'm like, man, this is really true. These people really are obsessed with us. I agree with all the points, but I think the driving point that I saw today is that the fear is that if we actually got reparations, we got some type of financial settlement, that black people would simply disappear from their lives in the current state that we exist right now. We wouldn't have this desire or need to be around groups. We wouldn't be competing with them. We'd probably go all move to like 4 or 5 states, build up ourselves, build up our own communities, do our own thing. And I think that is a fear that the world has, and that fear of, well, what happens if they disappear? No more NFL, no more basketball, no more no more singers. They're just off there doing their own thing, and they don't want to be bothered with anybody. They don't want to even let us in. This whole nosiness that you see people always doing when they're looking at our community, they're trying to figure out what is our music, what is our new slang, what new ideas are we thinking of, what new shoes, what new clothes. Go from the 60s and 70s and 80s, we had different hairstyles and different clothing styles, and they defined every decade of American history. I think their general fear is that we'll just go away. Like James Baldwin said, the black man is like a fixed star in the white man's sky. And any movement of that star will change the white man's entire universe. It will it will upheaval his entire world. I mean, why do you think people from New Zealand are looking at? There was a lady from Finland in Tariq's space last night. I'm like, you're from Finland. What are you doing in this space? Yeah, I was like, this is crazy because we don't have that same interest in their lives. Nobody ever looks at it like that. Like we're not interested in what's going on in Jamaica, what's going on in the United Kingdom, eating their nasty little food that they eat. We're not interested in any of that. So that's just my opinion. I know what I would do. I would go move somewhere that's blackety black Americans. I don't want to do with none of y'all. Okay, I don't want to do commerce with y'all. I don't want to hear y'all because my people can read my body language when I don't want to be messed with and when I need to be talked to. These other groups, it's all forced. It's all unnatural. Being around them makes me it just makes me pull my hair out. It makes me more of a hermit. I'm like, man, can we go back to a segregated country again? I miss segregation. I'm sorry. I land my
Well,
plane.
it's like
Me too.
I was telling my lady earlier, like it's all about like they like energy vampires, man. I went to Atlanta and got like a little snow scare, so we all got at the house, and I went to go get some stuff at Publix, some grocery store, and it was a dominant society man. I'm getting some shrimp It was a dominant society man waiting in line behind me, and he kept trying to make eye contact with me to communicate with me. And I wasn't trying to talk, so I kept looking at my phone and shit. And he got in front of me like, "You're gonna look at me. You're gonna talk." I said, "Yes." He's like, "Do you know if anybody works here?" I was like, "I don't work here. I don't know, sir. I don't know." But it's they need your attention. Like it's Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said some deep ass shit. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said, um, basically back when the world, she didn't use the word Pangea. I'm adding that in there, but when the world was more, the land masses were unified, she said a certain group of people got exiled from the land from the mainland for doing egregious acts for engage. You use your imagination, but engaging in egregious acts. And Dr. Francis Cress Welsing basically said in an interview that the worst personality you can create, um, that can be created, is a personality of a child who's been abandoned by his parents. So Dr. Francis Cress Welsing argued that they were abandoned by a group, and it's their life mission to get the attention of that group. And I thought about that today when I was at Publix, and it's like he wanted to suck my energy. So how that ties into what Fire Naggy is saying is like, I feel like they want to be around us to like they energy vampires, man. Like we are, I'm the more I hang around my own people and be comfortable with who God made me. We are, foundational Black Americans, we are cool, and melanated people in general, we're cool with just being by ourselves, off in the cut. We don't need much. We're not trying to fuck with people, you know what I'm saying? But these other groups, just it's like they just need to be around us. It's a need, it's not a want, it's a need. So I'm letting you guys know I'm gonna shut down the space in about 11 minutes. I'm gonna get a couple more speakers. Um, we're gonna go with FBA Trade Day.
What's good? What's good? Yeah,
What's up,
man.
bro?
What's good? Hey, man. Atlanta,
Hey.
Georgia. What's good, Wani? What's good, Nikki? But nah, G Dot should be ashamed of their damn self. This is another damn year where they acting like snow don't hit this state, and yeah, my street's fucked up right now. But you brought up a good point, Professor, and on my last account, I made a post about this, and a lot of white people got triggered. So I go to the gym every day. I work out a lot. I bench twice my weight. So like I throw up over 365 every week on the bench or whatnot. And one thing I noticed is this always happens. Now the gyms I go to, everybody know I do that shit every week, so they ain't really paying attention. But when I switch it up and I go to a gym where it's mostly white people, I swear to God, Professor, every time they see me doing this. Hey, you need some help? Hey, man. These motherfuckers don't talk to me until they see that I'm capable of benching over twice my weight. Then they want to talk to me. Then they want to run up to me. It's like they want to. It's like they run up to try to spot me, almost to create some doubt in my mind that I can do it. I swear to God, a white boy just did that to me yesterday. I was at the Crunch Fitness out here at Mall of Georgia by Buford. Yeah, again, like you know, it's like that energy vampires, and it's always them. Niggas never do this shit at the gym like this. Like, dude, if I go to the one in Camp Creek, nigga expect me to do it. Oh, you got that little nigga. Come on. That's what nigga say. Like an old nigga say some shit like that. The white boys, I swear to God, and dude, like I almost wrote write an article about this shit because it happens every time. Like because for one, when you in the gym or an MMA spot, for one, they always size the nigga up because that's always a form of warfare. You preparing for something, so they always see that as a form of warfare. So it's always some slight hostility in there when you walk up in the room, especially when you got some size to you and shit like that. But it's like when they realize when I do that, they feel inferior. So and you see it on their face. I swear to God, you see it on their face. I tack on 275, like, oh, I did that once or twice. Tack on 315, then they tack on 365, they turn their head. Or, oh my God, you must need some help with that, buddy. No, the fuck I don't. Get the fuck away from me. And that's the way I am now. Like at first, I used to be like, oh, I'm good, bro, and dap him up or something. Now I'm like, man, get the fuck away from me. And I'm gonna tell you something else. A Asian did that to me at the one at Crunch at the Crunch Fitness in Johns Creek about a couple of months ago. You know, the Asian, a Korean too, and you know they trying to be honorary whites, but he was with a white boy. And you know, it's like he tried to run. Hey man, that bar might not be able to support. I said, man, dude, I do this every week, dude. And bro, I don't know, bro, but I swear to God, there's something with that, dude. I swear to God. In the eight, bro, like, yeah, I just want to speak on that, but yeah,
Thank
you hit
you.
on something.
Who's next?
Hit hot my
Hard working
Go ahead,
tether.
Average.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I recognize that you got a time limit and everything like that. So love the space, love the title. Our FBA's humanitarians
No,
and
he's
why are
just going to take a quick break. So stay in the room.
oh okay, okay.
Yeah,
He's just
yeah.
going to
I'm
take a
I'm not
break.
shutting the space down. I'm just gonna I'm a It's gonna be in control of Nikki and Wani for a little while.
Oh, Lord. We know how that ends.
Yay!
Oh, I thought it was 11 minutes. You
No,
gonna
in
do
11
okay.
minutes,
It's just going to be
yeah.
You gonna hand it
88
off or something?
minutes.
Okay, I could
70
dig it.
medley.
Okay, I could dig it. I could dig it. So, yeah, FBA's our FBA's humanitarians, of course. And why are foreigners against our reparations? Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. I don't know if they'll ever tell us why they are. I don't know. I'm sorry, my 4 year old is like really getting to me. You need to go over there. You got food to eat, and you're gonna leave me alone while you're doing it. Okay, she can keep messing with you. I'm over here. All right, because you're eating your food. If you're not eating your food, then we ain't got nothing to talk about. All right, thank you. But anyways, um, I don't know why they'll ever, I don't know if they'll ever tell us the truth about that because it's an obsession. Like I'm in a DM right now in a group with a bunch of tethers and us, and we whooping their ass. The reason why I got this picture up right now, this is a tether right here who's been hiding amongst us, trying to sow discord because he has the same obsession. This is Ivory the farmer. Call him Ivory the Fed. But they want to just cause this division however they can. They don't want any progress because it's just this innate tribalism and hatred within them. They can't see that progress from us helps everybody. We always put on for everybody else. It's just a natural thing that we have. We are a 0 to 1 people. Everybody else is 1 to 2. They need us to stand on to get something popping. They can't just be in the middle of somewhere. Black Americans, what do? You can strip everything from us, beat us to within an inch of our lives, and we can get off of a fucking plantation, build our own communities. You can hand us an instrument, or we can create the instrument and make genres and cultures and all of that, and then people claim it for themselves rather than giving us credit out of this hatred while they're still trying to harm us, limit us, and all of that. We'll never understand their spirit because we don't have that kind of spirit. It's hard for us to understand why foreigners are against our reparations. You would think that people just have this natural thing, for justice. Like I live in California, and a lot of people say, a lot of Mexicans who have illegal immigration in their background come over here, get a handout, and say it's not fair that we have to pay, completely making a contradiction of the fact that we are the descendants of slaves and we had to pay for you to get over here. We had to pay for you to be on the system, to be on welfare and all of these things. And you come over and get these freebies that people who don't even get represented well with the tax dollars they put into the system, you eat off of. You got to live around us. We didn't burn you out. And you get freebies, and your family did not build this country. Yet you come here and think that it's unfair that you have to pay for us and we've had to pay for you, and you didn't do shit. Everybody just does. Nobody wants us to come up. And I think a big part of it is this hierarchy that exists. It really does placate mediocrity. So these mediocre populations that are around, um, they don't want to have to really, really be at eye level and in a real equal system. They don't want that because they know they're not that talented. They don't want to have to compete with black men at an eye level, knowing that they'll become more viable because we already are the secret fantasies of a lot of women. You know what I'm saying? They don't want us to have that power. They don't want us to own the things that we create because they know what that's going to mean financially. It's a fear of all of this time, this lie you've been telling, all this superiority you've been trying to push of that being a straight up lie, and then you no longer being viable, it's speeding up the inevitable, which is their extinction. So it's all that's wrapped up in there, and these jealous, I call them meligrants. Shortened for melanated immigrants, I call them meligrants. You know what I'm saying? So these jealous meligrants, you know, they don't want us to come up either because they know they can't do what we can do. They can't do it. They know what it is. So it's fear of us coming up and everybody being or people being beneath us or having to really fend for themselves. So that's my theory.
Well, I agree. I
Great.
mean, I could go on and on and on about the things that we've done um, to help the diaspora, and we never get anything in return. If we say, hey, African Union, can we be a part of it? Nope. So here we go. Now, who is next? I remember Civic Crisis. Did you want to say something?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I always like being catching a bit of Professor Spaces, listening to y'all,
Mhm.
uh, and yeah, I think there's a lot of constructive conversation to be had. Uh, uh, like one thing I was wondering is this new executive order to try and end birthright citizenship. It could be looked at like is it humanitarian or not? And generally, would you support that or not? Because I would think, and I've heard that,
Nope. I'm
uh,
against birthright citizenship
right? Yeah, okay, and that's what's up.
because too many people have abused the system. And you?
Send all of their asses back.
Yeah, they all have countries and they just don't want to build them up and they just want to come over here and get on the dole and whatever. We already know. I've been looking at this for decades. Okay, so we didn't hear from Head and Shoulders. Go ahead, Head and Shoulders.
Hey everybody, it's Nick from Chicago by way of Houston. Professor Allen, Nikki the God, and Wani. Shout out to you all for hosting the space. Um, to the topic of the room, yes, we are humanitarians, and foreigners are against our reparations for two reasons. If they're tethers, then essentially they are getting eliminated out of the potential benefits that they would get, not potential, but benefits they would get. And if they are non melanated, then they're against it because the same way that the folks that are right in front of our faces are against it. As soon as we get any type of compensation, if we're able to do this much on one half of 1%, if we're able to do this much uh, after the end of chattel slavery here, if we're able to do 50,000 patents, and I think that was, correct me if I'm wrong, that stat counts up to 1970, or is that 80 or something like that? I guess that's until some of the,
It's like the mid 1800s to mid 1900s, and the reason they used that is because um, it was segregated and it's easier to count. We still are inventing things, but it's just not as segregated.
yeah,
Average, check your phone for me. Please check your phone.
yeah, and then we've been able to do that much and still doing more. If we're able to do all of that under systematic oppression, systematic sabotage, these people all around the world are going to be freaking out with us even getting 10% more than what we got now. Not, well, 10% more of what we're owed. Not even 100%, because we're doing this much under all of this brutalization, all of this sabotage. Just getting even 10% of all of what we're owed, we will destroy all competition because we're already uh, out competing them. I think of it this way. If we look at the stats about the household income, And I was thinking about this recently for the last few months. I'm looking at this like, okay, if we're at somewhere around uh, men and women, I think women is around 30,000 and men are somewhere in the 40,000 range. I could be slightly inaccurate on that. And then compare that to the household income, or maybe that is the median for white people. And we're able to push through and not have to be the majority on welfare and all of these other programs that they have. I'm just looking at this like, dang, get us another $10,000 up on that, and we will blow them out of the water. Just $10,000, not even at parity. $10,000 more on that, and we're blowing them out of the freaking water. So they are aware of this. Even the foreigners, they are aware of this, and they know that. And I'll land after this, and they know that we get any type of assistance or any type of sabotage that's off of us, or any type of what we're owed, any one of those three, whether it's anything that we're owed, or they're saying, hey, you know what, we're going to do this until you guys get your reparations, whatever that is, any one of those three or all combination of those, nobody can compete with us. China will look like it's a freaking joke with all of their innovations. Like, because everybody's amazed. Oh, China is this, and I give them their credit. I'm like, because they're not being sabotaged, and at this point, sabotage will not work for them because they taught their youth, hey, we went through 100 years of humiliation. We're not gonna let these Europeans do that again. So they played their part, and then once they got their advantage, they're like, yeah, okay, cool, guys, you can't take us down. They're gonna look like a freaking joke once we get our stuff. And I land.
I'm asking people if you have requested and we didn't let you up. I'm seeing two people, the black in housing who are requesting, and it's not allowing me to let you up. If you could cancel your request and then request again, please.
Is somebody talking? And I can't
No.
Yeah, I'm
hear.
gonna drop down for now and let somebody else up.
No, you don't have to drop down. No, it was just I was just having a hard time accepting requests. Wait, how many people
I
are up
have
here?
brought
Three,
another
six,
one up, I
nine.
think. Yeah, I brought one up.
Oh, that's why they couldn't come up because there weren't too many people.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Excelente.
No, who was next?
Y'all all eating. I
Oh,
think the professor was eating, Nikki eating, Wani eating, everybody eating. The three co-hosts. So
But
what is
yeah,
this, a
just to,
buffet?
to go off that brother's point is like, yeah, once we get to a level point and get what we need to get in our just dues, it's over. You know, because they already had a taste of their own culture, which they don't like. You know what I'm saying? They don't even like their own culture. They don't like nothing whitewashed. They always got to come over here to get some seasoning on something. You know, they have to force people to like to like their ways. You know, we do that effortlessly with just who we are as a people. You know, and with that being much more enhanced and amplified once we get our just dues, they days is over with. From there, you know, because they already numbered. You know, we just finna make it quicker to the demise once we get our just dues. And I land on that.
Oh, one more thing to add. I call them now Jimmy Neutrons, or I call them Jimmys, but Jimmy Neutron. I know most of us here have probably seen that because isn't it funny how every episode, I mean, every single one except for maybe one, and I was under this propaganda. Jimmy Neutron always was a troublemaker. He always caused the problem in every single one of them damn episodes. And then by the end, he solved the problem that he caused. And everybody's calling him, oh, aren't you such a genius? You just saved the day. But he caused the freaking problem. It's like, dude, the heck is going on? But when I was younger, when I was a kid watching that, I fell under that propaganda. And this is kind of how their whole culture is. They tell us these lies, they're getting angry, and upset, and they're losing their mind that we're no longer believing it, or at least going along with it. Some of us believed it. Some of us was like, we don't want to rock the boat. We're giving them a chance or whatever. But I'm just like, okay, Jimmy. Like, I know we call them Karens and all types of stuff. I'm calling them Jimmies. Like, I'm just putting that out there.
I wish you would have been in Tariq's space yesterday. That's exactly what this woman from Finland did. And Wani, she was there.
Tell us again what happened.
I thought you were in Tariq's space last night, or you were you
I
asleep?
was.
Oh yeah,
I was part of it, yeah.
the lady from Finland when she tried to act like Tariq was the real racist because he was just listening to what she said, and I was like, this lady is just straight gaslighting, and it was just interesting because I mean I've never been in one of those spaces where a person from Europe was basically spouting a lot of things that her racist friends told her. And then what she goes out and does is she goes, no, 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 you're misrepresenting everything I'm saying. And I'm like, no, he's just repeating everything you're saying. We're all listening to you. And it was one of those spaces where I was like, this is crazy. This lady is
It's
making.
like they can't hear themselves, and then when you repeat it back, they freak out.
That's what happened. And I was like, this is somebody needs to tell this lady. And then the other guy gets up defending her. And I'm like, okay, they're on code or something like that. He just had to go defend this white woman. That's what he did.
Funny enough, I used to think that I think part of that they believe it, and then the other part they're on code to be against it. Because I used to think that how could somebody believe this idiocy once I started getting my awakening? But then I'm like, oh yeah, I used to believe that idiocy. Some of these people actually do believe what they're telling us. Like legit, they believe what they're telling us. And I've spoken to enough Europeans, uh, in Europe, they actually believe the mess that's coming out of their mouth, even though it's completely contradictory. Because when you think about it, most people, I think I got this from Jason Black. And then I was like, yeah, this does seem to be true. Most people have not heard their own words repeated back to them because usually what we do is I would say humanity overall, but I think we kind of get it ourselves a little bit more as black people because we kind of get the attention and everybody criticizing us all the time. So we're micromanaged and everything. So we're more used to hearing our words back to us. But generally, most other people, if they say something completely idiotic, they're not getting called out for it. So you just think about this positive reinforcement over something idiotic every single day, every single minute, or people just babbling on and on to each other. And then they reach somebody like us that is more aware, that's able to combat easily debunkable things. And then they're malfunctioning.
I agree with you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Welcome to the stage, average Black American. He's got Martin Luther King as his Davi. I just want to just say welcome to the stage and
Yep,
go
yep.
ahead and speak.
Appreciate it, appreciate it. Had to come back under this least that way the people that follow me into rooms could come as well. Somebody followed me to a messed up room yesterday. I was in a really messed up space, and I was trying to like hit her up and say, "Hey, don't, this ain't the room." Like, no, it wasn't that bad of a room. It was just an unserious room. That's all. So they can. I hope they follow me in this room. You know, and of course it has like 3 times people, so that's always good too. I love to see rooms this size, and it's positive that people are building and eating on stage too. By the way, because man, I
I
still ain't
was eating.
y'all is
It,
fucking it up. I hear y'all.
I was not eating anything. Maybe I just sounded congested.
Nah, your ass eating too. You was eating something too. You was chewing on something. I heard something.
No, that's Wani who's
That's
always
me. I was eating
eating
a
on those
full
that
course
good
meal.
No, you was
vegan
eating Wani,
food.
but Nikki
Food.
was trying to
I
be
was
sneaky with
not
the shit.
eating. No,
She was eating something.
no,
Nikki was
no, no.
sneaking. She was snacking and sneaking, and then I think Professor was eating something too before he went silent. I think he was eating something too.
Uh,
It's dinner time. Don't be
yep.
ashamed. It's dinner time. Shit.
Yeah, yeah, it's dinner
Why you
time.
trying to? Why you trying to act like you don't eat? You one of them? You one of them women? Like, oh no,
I,
I just have salad. You one of
no,
them?
No, yeah, I'll just have yeah, but salad is good, man. Especially those chicken salads from Chick-fil-A. Those are delicious. You trying to turn me into a big back hungry woman.
Yeah, you big back. I couldn't picture it. Couldn't see it.
Yeah, 'cause I don't. Yeah, I ain't trying to ever get over a certain amount of
Yeah,
weight.
no, no, no. There's some people just got the fast metabolism for the rest of their life. They ain't never gonna be big. That's gonna be you. You can eat whatever you want.
But
You lucky.
what do you think about the title, average? What do you think about our FBA's humanitarians, why are foreigners against our reparations? Or is there something different you wanted to talk about
Well, I
today,
think you didn't hear
since
me
you're a
10
special
minutes ago, so
guest?
you wasn't listening to me. I was just talking to you, just like you was eating, and you didn't listen to me. You know, I already answered the
Okay,
topic.
you know what? I'm just getting
Mm-hmm.
ready to get on off of here
Mm-hmm. Wasn't
because you
listening to
keep
me. Yep.
harassing
Yep.
me, and yeah.
I was a different profile, but goddamn, I already answered the question. Like I'm teasing you, but I did answer the question though, and I even came up with a new term that everybody can use. It's called melogrants. We ain't got to say melon
Milligret.
immigrants. Just say melogrants. It's
Milligret. It
yeah,
blends very
melogrants.
well.
It's smoother. It's our way of naming them and shit. They might not like it, but
Hmm.
fuck them. Hey, it's better than tether,
Yeah,
ain't it?
hey, average. You
I
remember
agree.
that
Melogrants.
Nigerian dude who came over here talking about how black people didn't need immigrants and he was a pastor and all that shit. And then there was another one who was like some sort of like little like influencer talking the same thing. And they were both saying that if we get our reparations, it'll mess up day funding coming over here.
Why?
I don't know. That's what
Wow.
they was spewing. There was some ugly fatback Nigerian who looked like his whole village was ashy as hell coming over
Fat
here
back.
talking about if black people get reparations, it's gonna mess up his dollar. And then it was a
Hmm.
preacher not too long ago saying we black people don't need reparations. We just need to work hard and shit. I was all
Hmm.
like, wow, these people got the motherfucking nerves.
See,
Yeah.
if I hear a preacher saying that, a Christian preacher,
Yeah, he was Christian,
me,
bro. Christian preacher. I swear for the
man,
Lord.
I better not ever happen upon a Christian preacher saying. The reason why is because I've prayed that way my whole life. Except I believe in Nat Turner, Deacons of Defense. I believe in black men being strong. I believe in the old Christian church that civil rights. They could have conversations about black liberation, black empowerment, and then stage protests and things like that. These new niggas, I don't know who the fuck they are, but they try to trade on the old history of the church, and they'll try to go, yeah, the church is a place. No, nigga, not today. Not today. It ain't. Not with you sorry ass niggas around pledging fraternities and shit and being boule and being a Democrat's hoe. And even change it from the doctrine too. Because look, you can lay however you want to lay in your bed, but if you're a preacher, you got a doctrine. God did what? God, if you saying God wrote this, God came down and changed the doctrine. That's what He did. No, I tell you what happened. You over there because a lot of them is in the South, especially in Atlanta, and they went to Atlanta and shit. They looking at goddamn church and they see how many of they people got some money and is out here spreading that pussy. That's what that is, and they want that. They want them dollars and shit. These motherfuckers, I don't know who they. And this goes to a lot of them. TD Jakes. I'm like, and full disclosure, I think TD Jakes went to a Diddy party, but I think he left early because it's two Diddy parties. It's the early one where everybody wearing white, having a good time. They eating the chicken wings and shit, and then it's the other one where the titty pop out and you got to leave. I don't think
Oh my
I don't
God.
think I don't think TD Jakes stayed for the titties. I think he got the wings and got the hell out. I think he saw, oh look, there's this. It's getting dark. Let me leave. I don't want to be swallowed up. Swallowed. But nigga left because I would. Nah. But that nigga left. You know what I'm saying? But it's like this dude got all this money and don't say nothing about black empowerment ever. Like ever. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna land the plane there for my house like just turned out.
Um, the black.
How's everybody doing?
Hey.
Um, to speak to the title, are FBA's humanitarians? Oh, formerly, yes, but in this day and age, I don't see it anymore. I don't see it being beneficial to us or beneficial to those that we help because we hindering them from being the better version of Africans they could be. Pan Africanism has given Africans and other people of the diaspora so called a crutch.
And like a good big brother, we need to let them bump their head every now and then and understand that fat meat is greasy and you will get overweight. So to that, yeah, formerly, yes, we was our great elders before us, and y'all on the stage, yeah. But us today, me personally, no, I don't want to be, uh, unless it's humanizing my people. Uh, other than that, they can kick rocks, eat they mud pies in peace, like I want to eat
Well,
my chicken in peace.
well, they are still benefiting. So we set up such a powerful humanitarian system that even when we have changed our minds and said, I don't feel like these people respect us at all, it's not that I want something back. I just don't want somebody coming here to disrespect me in my home and be, what they've been doing. So even though we may not want to do it, we still have the Congressional Black Caucus and the NAACP running around breaking their neck to help these people with everything under the sun and all the churches and all that.
But see, when it comes down to them and supporting other countries, like, wouldn't that be somewhat considered treasonous by American law? Because America is like all about America, and if you, unless it's a somewhat of an allied country, yeah, we don't really want you representing or trying to benefit another country other than ours, unless it's more
They've been
beneficial to
they've
us.
been doing it a long time. Remember, since apartheid, they were hyper focused on that, and we've been just doing that, and it hasn't given us any better presence. All these people still sit there in the heckling section waiting for something to happen so they can post pictures of us being murdered online and call us bullet bags.
Yeah, that's why we need to leave they stank ass alone. But to the other question, why foreigners against our reparations? Uh, looking at the structure of the American system, knowing that the first landing spot of most foreigners is a black community, and knowing that we are always with open arms and willing to accept anybody and acclimate them to a certain way of comfortability, and knowing that they won't be harmed as much, and them knowing that the law is always in their favor. It and we get reparations, they will no longer benefit from us. Like they can't use us as a stepping stone into whiteness. Uh, we we won't no longer be the the way to get financial gain from the government when it comes down to like aid or grants, saying that they're a person of color and they're in a downtrodden community. Because I'm noticing that they use a lot of these. They link themselves to art statistics and different things to benefit from minorities, so-called set-asides, and knowing that the structure of white supremacy is cool with that, as long as it's somebody ahead of the line of us. It shows that, like the brother, I think Cap said it. If we get reparations, they won't get they aid anymore. Uh, the rice bags won't be landing no more. Uh, Sally Struggles won't have no reason to go over there and beg for dollars anymore. So, cause
And these poor neighborhoods won't exist for them to leech off of and
yeah,
then make fun of while they live in the same neighborhood.
yeah, and that's another thing. In that part, it reminds me of the Oprah episode of when she was going through. I think it was Rosewood or Jonestown, one of them towns that used to be that became a sundown town, but it was a freedman community. And the old lady said that every time they move away, white people move back around now. And she said once you get a community that's majority white or becoming majority white, it's time to move away because you know you're about to be in danger. And when you look at history, that's kind of always been our story. We move, create a new town. Like we good at starting over. Like that's nothing new to us. We can start from scratch. So we move, create a new town. They get destroyed, or some of it get destroyed. Some might stay, and majority gonna leave, and we do it all over again. And that's kind of how we built majority of the country too, by trying to stay away from these degenerate mass killers that don't want to stay away from us because they have a fetish of being around us. But yeah, it's like the little brother that want to be like you, but he jealous of you, so he fuck up your shit because he don't know how to use it properly.
Yep, and Pan Africanists tell us, well, that's your baby brother, so you can't get mad at them. That's actually your family, and that's you. So you have to be family with him and take his abuse. And the whole time, the person has nothing to do with us, and in fact, is a historical enemy to Black Americans.
So do you
And
think
to,
that that's the whole reason why they created the out of Africa theory to,
no,
to make
no,
us family?
no, it's not.
Hello, big booty stripper.
I'm just saying, is that why they keep on coming up with these Yaku theories, saying this is just baby brother? Don't do them like that. We family.
Yeah, they have to because um, they're already on the bottom of everything and nobody wants them in their countries. And if they can't glom onto us and claim our culture and claim that we're them and they're us and all that stuff, and where are they? Now, we gave them a chance and we created a whole Pan African backstory for them. We did everything to rehabilitate their image, and all they have done is go to these countries, form gangs, cause problems, get their passports blocked, pretend to be us, get our reputation thrown under the bus, and act like, oh yeah, we're all doing it. Everybody hates all of us just to make themselves feel good, and everybody does not hate all of us. They just don't like leeches in the country. They
Hey,
literally don't.
that's one thing I wanted to bring up last night that you said. Cause when you do look at it in a large scale, every person that leaves America and don't want to come back, that becomes expatriates, you don't hear about no Black Americans forming any kind of gangs
No.
in no countries or doing any scams. Uh, you rarely hear of an individual doing that. So it shows that when we anywhere we go, we don't have the same mindset of these other individuals when it come down to uh, raping the system. Even though we have the capability to do it, because we can. I feel like we can do.
We're not over there to be a leech on the system. We're over there for charity. We're over there to entertain. We're over there to coach sports. We're over there to play sports. We're just overseas doing a lot of things and it's just constructive. We're not over there laying in the street on a mattress turning tricks for everybody in Italy. We're just not over there forming gangs and grooming 11-year-olds. And these people are doing the most horrific things, and yet their reputations seem unscathed. Pakistani grooming gangs, that's literally a thing. And they just keep catching them with little UK girls over and over and over and over again. And they don't care. They don't care about their little girls. They're not getting rid of them. So I don't know what it is. We just get a bad reputation for doing nothing overseas. Our passports aren't blocked. We're not under Interpol monitoring. I mean, there's nothing. We don't have organized crime. We don't go over there and set up another crime network, but everybody else has done that. Italians have done that. Irish people have done that. Armenians have done that. Russians have done that. Hispanics, every Hispanic has done that. They all do these international crime networks here in this country. And they don't, it doesn't stick. They just turn it into a TV show and glamorize it and talk about how terrible we are. We don't even have organized crime. And a lot of us believe it. I'm glad someone posted that statistic. 96% of black men are not in jail. 98% of white men are not in jail. But yet you'll get some bimbo will come up and you're like, all the men are in jail. No, you just can't get any men. And you want to pretend they're all in jail. And a lot of the men, well, I won't say just men, but a lot of the people in jail are get out because they're on trumped up charges. We
Yeah.
get arrested a lot, a higher percent of arrests that don't even stick.
And now that you say that, you don't even hear about nigga pirates. But they make movies about Somali pirates.
We don't pirate ships. We don't have big teeth like camels and gigantic foreheads. So we have a lot going for ourselves. We don't look like aliens